everybody, welcome back to the Pillars and Press Homeschool channel. I'm so excited that you are here watching today. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe to my channel for lots of homeschool content and also hit that bell button so you'll be notified when I put out a new video. Today I have something real simple to share with you. I wanted to share you the homeschool planner that I've used for the last 3 or 4 years of homeschooling. There are so many planners out there to choose from. Some of them can get very pricey, and for me, it's just not something that I want to use my homeschool budget on. And so I have found a super simple and affordable option on Amazon that I get for $10 or less, and that's the one that I'm going to show you today. So this is the Emmeline Bloom planner that I get off of Amazon every year. She has a shop on Amazon that you can go to. She has lots of different cover pages to choose from each year. Sometimes she repeats some of the covers, but like this design is new this year and I thought it was so cute, so I picked this one out. It's such a simple planner, but it has some great organizational pages on the inside, and that $9.99 price point keeps me coming back year after year. So let's go ahead and take a look inside. So first up, there's a page for homeschool requirements. It's a great spot to be able to write down contact information for your city's school district. You can make a note on this page of any homeschool laws in your state that you need to keep in mind. Maybe you need to remember how many days of instruction are required, important dates at the end of the school year, like when you might need to send in your proof of progress or notice of intent. But I love that it gives you this first page to kind of write down some official information at the front of your book. And then next to that, there is a page for goals for the year. So when you sit down to plan your homeschool year, you can consider some goals that you might have for your kids, the purpose behind these goals, and then write down the action plan, the steps you plan to take to make those goals happen this year. I think this is such a great first page to keep some broad goals in mind and just have a good overview of what you're working towards this year every time you open your planner. The next page is just a general overview of the year with the list of holidays, which is really helpful for planning purposes. It's nice to have a quick reference sheet right in the beginning of the planner that you can quickly look at. And then after that, there's a list of important dates. You can write down family birthdays or vacations that you know are going to be coming up, holidays that are special to your family that you know you won't be doing school on. And then the next page is a page for student information. One thing I like about this planner as well is that it has spots for 6 different students. I think this can be really helpful for a lot of homeschool families. And then next to that, there is a blank note page. The next page is a place where you can write down all the curriculum that you're going to be using this year. You can write down the subjects you'll be doing, curriculum you're going to be using for each subject, where you bought it, and how much it cost. If you like to keep track of how much you spent on curriculum for the year, that can be super helpful. Then it starts giving you pages for a schedule for each student. Again, this planner can fit 6 students in it, so it has an individual schedule for 6 different students that you can use. So again, there's 4 on this page and then 2 more on the back side, giving you a total of 6. And then there's a note page that you can jot down some notes. I love all of the blank note pages that are dispersed throughout the book. Here is the master schedule. There are 15 different time slots if you want to use both pages. So that's a lot of time that you can break down your day by the half hour, by the quarter hour, or by the hour. However you want to break down your day, there is plenty of time slots to put off to the side. And then of course you can fill in what you're doing on each day of the week during that time. We don't stick to a super strict schedule per se, so we don't always starting things right at 9:30, but still writing it all out helps me as the homeschool mom say, okay, I want to start school around 9 o'clock. So I'm just going to put down that at 9 o'clock, we're starting morning basket. And it does help keep us on track. So even if we're not sticking to that rigid exact schedule, it still helps to have the whole day kind of spelled out for me so I can see around what times we should be doing certain things, especially if we have extracurricular activities that we might be adding into mornings or afternoons or evenings. It's really helpful to just kind of break down the day to give me an idea of how I want things to flow. After that, you have your attendance tracker. Again, there's a spot for 6 students. We in Virginia do not have to keep an attendance, but I know that certain states do require you to have a certain amount of days of school done. If that's you, if you are in one of those states, this planner has a page for you to keep track of that. On the next page, there's grade trackers. We loosely keep track of grades. Again, we're not required to report any type of grades. It's maybe one of the pages I use the least in this book, but I like that it has this option, and I can see myself using it as my kids get older and into middle school and high school, and I'm trying to keep track of their grades a little bit more. There's an event tracker page, which I have loved. I've used it to keep track of field trips that we've gone on. It's a great place to write down if you've gone to the zoo, if you've gone on any nature hikes, if you've gone to any museums, because sometimes when you're looking back at the end of the year, it's easy to forget the things that you've done and accomplished when you haven't written them all down. I love to jot down as much as possible on these pages, and then also I love that it has that blank note page on the side where I can jot down other things that they've done. For example, life skills that they've learned. Did we do gardening or sewing projects or anything like that? I can put that over here, which also helps you just be able to look back at the end of the year and see how much you did and how much you've accomplished. There's a reading log on the next page. There are 4 pages of reading logs, so a line for 100 different books. I usually don't put a specific date on it, but I will just put the month that we read the book in, and then of course the title of the book. And in the comment section, I will usually write if it was an independent read for one of my children, if it was a read aloud, or if it was a picture book, which is just a nice way to keep track of all that we've read. This is another one of those pages that I don't really use a lot, but maybe you might find it of use. There's a contact list and an activity organization list. I could see using this if you were involved in a lot of co-ops or extracurricular activities. In this season of our life, we are not really involved in a ton of extra stuff, so I don't use this page, but maybe it could be super helpful for you. And now we're getting into the actual planning pages of this planner. So for each month, they have a monthly overview. It is a 2-page monthly layout. As you can see, it has plenty of space to write in the box for each day. This is sort of just the general overview of the month. So I use this page to write down any field trips that we're going to take, family birthdays, events, any days that we're not going to be doing school, and any extracurricular activities that we have planned for the month. It comes with a cute motivational quote at the top of the page, something different each month, and then also on the side it has your top priorities for the month and then an area to keep notes. Usually in the notes section, I will write down what our monthly focus is. So we do a new hymn every month. We do a new memory verse every month. So I will jot down those notes on the side. And then in the priority section, sometimes it's just something simple like finishing a read aloud that we have, or a character trait that we really need to focus on, like not complaining or not whining. Whatever it is for your family, I like that there is a little space for that and gives you a good reminder every time you pull out your planner. I really like that it has lines in each of the boxes so that when I am writing things down, everything looks nice and tidy and clean. Maybe one negative to this planner is that it's not spiral bound, so it doesn't always lay open and flat. I know a lot of people love spiral bound books because you can do a flat lay and it doesn't always close on you. That doesn't bother me because a lot of times I feel like spiral bound books also, the spiral comes undone, and that drives me more bonkers than my book not laying flat and open. So that doesn't bother me, but it could be one drawback for you if that's something that you really like. Okay, and now here is what the weekly layout looks like. You can see that it has a space for 7 subjects on the subject line. The days of the week across the top with Saturday and Sunday also included, which I like because homeschooling sometimes takes place on the weekends. They also have a box for reminders off to the side. A lot of times in there, I'll put down what we're planning to do for our science experiments or our history projects, and so that keeps me thinking during the week about maybe supplies that I might need to pick up. And then down in the note box, I actually use that for keeping track of what we've been doing in our morning basket. In our morning basket, we tend to loop certain subjects like poetry or geography, music, but I use this box to keep track of whatever we've accomplished in our morning basket that day because those subjects are important and I do want to remember what we've been doing. What I like to do is write out each subject that we are going to be going over with my kids, and then in the actual box, I will write my child's initial on one line and I will fill in what they did that day, and then I'll write my next child's initial and then my next child's initial. So far there has been space for me to write down everybody's information in these boxes of what we accomplished that day. I don't get too detailed. A lot of times I just write down the lesson number that they did in their book and maybe 1 or 2 words about what that lesson was about. So I'm not getting super detailed here in these boxes, but there is plenty of space for you to write down the lessons that your kids completed that day. In fact, they've included 6 lines in each box. So if you had 6 kids, you could write down their initial and then write down what each kid did that day for that subject. And that's basically it. The rest of the planner is just these pages on repeat from July to July. So it is a full 12-month planner, which I also like. I typically don't fill out a ton of stuff in either month of July, but I know a lot of families are year-round homeschoolers, so this planner would work really well for you if you are a year-round homeschooler. In the back, they have a year in review page, which is really nice. You can write down your most memorable moments. You can write down some fun things that your kids said in the notable kid quotes line, goals that were conquered, things that maybe you'll miss as a mama this homeschool year, new skills that your kids learned or even that you learned as a mom, and any of your kids' greatest achievements. I love to write down when my kids learned to read or conquered a certain concept or skill, whether it's in school or whether it's a life skill. My planner is something that I save every year. No matter what work pages I save of my kids or any of their work that they've done, I definitely save my planner because that is a great way to prove all the things that you've done if you ever came into question, but it also serves as a great memory book depending on how you fill it out. And I love that this back page kind of recognizes that. And then it has a lot of blank note pages in the back of the book. Again, I love this. It's such a great place for you to fill out whatever you feel like you need to add. I will actually use it as a place to keep track of all of the science experiments that we did, all of our history projects that we did. So I'll use 2 pages for science, 2 pages for history. Also, I will keep track of some of our reading books. If I ran out of room in the reading log in the front, I can add some more books in the back. Lots of different ways that you can use those blank pages in the back. But I love that there's that option back there for you to write down whatever you need to write down. Like I said, I've been using this planner for several years now, probably 4 years, and it has been the perfect fit for us. There's nothing extra in there like meal plans or budgeting. So if you really enjoy having all of that in one place, this might not be the planner for you. But if you are looking for something simple, if you just want a planner to help you keep track of what your kids accomplished and have a record of all that they've done in the school year, then I definitely encourage you to check out this planner. The design is beautiful, the layout is incredibly user-friendly, and the price cannot be beat. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please, please, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your homeschool friends. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more homeschooling tips and product reviews and curriculum picks and just all the homeschooling content. And I will see you next time. Happy homeschooling!